Hi guys, it's me, Corey Anzaldua, and today I'm gonna give out about my final project. For this project, I'm going to talk about the three different dropbacks that we have in throwing a football. And for the first dropback is normally a quick dropback, which is used for a lot of fastball like slants, hitches, and quick screens in football. And honestly, it's one of the most important ones. And then we'll go into our second drop back, which is like our medium game, and it's a quick three-step drop back. You just go drop back 1 2 3, and use this one more for digs and more 5 to 10 yard routes. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit more time consuming, but it gives the quarterback more time to read, and that's really what you're trying to do on your second drop back. And then for the last one, the third drop back we work on is a 7 foot drop back or 5 foot. And the thing is like you want to get deep in this drop back because you are looking to throw a deep ball over 30 yards. And so when you're looking at this, you want to have enough time for you to drop back, give your receiver enough time to go upfield, and so you can release the ball and y'all can go in together on stride. The person I chose to go over this topic with is Brett Johns. He's a good family friend. I've known him for a very long time, and we pretty much kind of grew up together. We went to the same high school. He's fixing to be a senior in high school this coming up year. For fun, I mean, he's a country kid. He likes to work on vehicles and trucks, and just whatever he can find to put his hands on, just do some kind of work. When it comes to throwing a football, I'd say he's not very experienced at all. Like I said, he is someone who grew up in the farm, and he's just a very country person. And I mean, he's a great person to know. And then for his initial trial, I did not give any type of explanation to him, and you can see right here in the video. I mean, that's just me just telling him right there, like, just give me a drop step. And as you can see, his feet are wrong. He's not really squaring up. He's not putting the hands on the ball correctly. I mean, that right there was just him doing the short game. And then if I move forward a little bit, we got some video of him doing medium game drop back. As you can see, he doesn't really change much from his drop back. I mean, it's like literally the same thing. All he did was move his step just a little bit bigger. I don't think he was really understanding what I was wanting. And then I could move forward. And this is what he thought a deep drop back was. I mean, all he did was he literally made no different movements at all. He just tried to take a bigger step, and that's all it was. And so, like I said, he really was not experienced in this field, but it's okay. We're going to work on it. One of the biggest problems I saw with Brett was the way he just threw the football. His form is off, and when your form is off, it's really not going to help to know the dropbacks, because if you drop back and you want to throw the ball more square, well, then you just wasted your drop back, because you're going to open up your hips and almost turn sideways and look down the field, and then right before you throw, you're going to flip square again. That's not what I want, and that's not what we want. So as you can see, he doesn't really flip his hips. He doesn't bring the ball to his ear, and I don't like his release form. I feel he is pushing the ball more than he is just actually giving a nice release. And that is some things that I just felt that are really keeping him away from getting into a single drop back. So here's a few pictures. Right here, I show how the ball is not to his ear. He has it really low. And like I said right here, I do show. I look how he just opens up. I mean, his feet aren't right. His elbows down. The ball's way back here. It's not good. And then his hand placement on the ball is too far from each other. He pretty much let go of the ball the second he just got the snap. Just look at that. Ball's already out of his hand, and he goes through a full motion with just a single arm, and that's really not how we're supposed to throw the ball. We want two hands on the ball until we almost release it. This you want to use as a guide. So for the first activity, I chose to go over the fundamentals of throwing the football. I felt that was the biggest part, but I also realized that Brett, when you're trying to teach him, he's a different kind of learner. You have to break it down for him. So what I did was that I just had him practice bringing the ball up to his ear over and over and over and over again. I mean, that's just the way he got repetition. I showed him how to do it, so that way he has an understanding of what I wanted to see. And the main goal is this to get the ball up to the ear. This way we can start looking into the footwork into our drop backs. Mm. The practice environment that we used for this was a task constraint. And the reason why I would say that is because the only task was to get the ball up to your ear. And this is not something we'd really see in a game type environment. It's more of a mental thing just to sit there and say, okay, ball, get the snap, ball to ear, get this ball, snap, ball to ear, snap, ball to ear, snap, ball to ear. That's just one thing we want to get better at, just so he can get that, make it normal for him. He wants to almost make it a habit. Now I'll show you this video. As you can see in the video, he's bringing the ball to his ear and he's taking a better drop back with his back foot, which I think came a little more naturally to him because he was bringing the ball up to his ear, and it was just something he was fixing himself. And I was also teaching him where you want the elbow before we throw the ball to help guide you. So I do feel that we did reach a proper goal, and this does help, to throw the form of the football. And I felt that we accomplished our goal on throwing it. I got him to bring the ball up to the ear. We practiced on the elbow. We got it to go straight this way. So when he went to go throw the football, he was ready. He would be able to throw to it on target. Um, I thought there was some repetition, a lot of repetition with there with mental reps. And the only thing I think I could have improved on was just maybe having him do it a few more times, just kind of get it mentally staged and just, just stuff like that. But honestly, I think it was kind of a simple drill and there wasn't much improvement that could have happened for this. But I was proud of his advancement in it. So, and like I said, the reason why we chose the first lesson was this so we can get the right proper form and technique of getting the ball up so we can get the right throwing form out of it. And like I said, the next thing I saw in his problems was the release of the football. In the last video, we were able to get him to get the proper form, get the elbow up and everything to throw it, but I did not like the way it was being released. He had more of a push to it, and we were not always getting the prettiest spiral out of it. And I feel an important thing to do is get a spiral when you're throwing a football because, like, we don't want to throw an ugly pass to receiver. That's just not how it's going to be. And 9 times out of 10, when someone's watching you, they expect the quarterback to throw a spiral. So that's one thing that we worked on and for this lesson. Again, the environment was task constraint because I only allowed him to work on release form. Because if we don't have the release form right, then we're just throwing an ugly ball, and then almost everything that we've done has become useless. It is a self-organization drill because he has to concentrate on himself. Because everyone has a little bit of a different release. I cannot say that everyone has to throw a certain way or have the certain release form, but I did want him more relaxed. He was not relaxed. He was pushing the ball. I just wanted to find his own groove, find his own, just style of throwing it, just letting it flirt off the wrist. This video, I'll show you. Sorry, video right here. As you can see in the video, I'm demonstrating how he was pushing it, and we want to flick it. I'll fast forward just a little bit so we can see Brett. And that one, you can see his wrist. He's turned, instead of pushing it like this, we are getting more of a flick of the wrist on it. And he's doing it again, repetitive time. So I feel he was getting a good hang of it. So, like I said, the one thing I instructed him also on this was, just make sure the ball's up to your ears. And, we want to make sure he, got both of these tasks pretty fast, because in the drill, you don't have time to just kind of sit there and take your time with this. I mean, you kind of have to, just get the ball, bring up, and when you release, you just want to get rid of it. You don't want to sit there and take too much time on trying to get the ball up, because then we're not going to get our steps right. And so, one thing I feel I could have improved on, like I said, was just getting the ball faster. Now, in this next lesson, we start to work on our first drop back, and which is the quick drop back. Like I said before, that is for quick slants and quick screens, just quick, simple stuff. And I feel the major rate limiter I found was his footwork, because we don't have proper footwork, it's not going to look good, and that's just, we're not be able to achieve it. And so we did work on it in the video. And also, we are taking a step forward from the last lesson, because, we're actually going to a drop back and not just working on throwing form. So again, we went back to the basics and we worked on him getting the snap correctly. That's always something you have to work on through each progression, because it's just a basic fundamental. So we're always going to work on it. And then I did a few more stuff with his release on the throw of the spiral, because we want to spiral. So it's just things that it's almost like you're working over and over and over again, but now we're just kind of putting it together. And so in this session, I was able to also get his footwork correctly, so that way we could bring it all together and make one quick drop back. And here's the session of a quick drop back. As you can see, when he gets the ball, he now when he kept it a little low than I wanted him to, but he is getting it up there. He's just taking the proper footwork towards it. I mean, as you can see right here on the first one, just look at this. He gets it and releases. The footwork is right. He doesn't just take one straight hitchback. He actually takes the proper footwork right here. He's getting the right release form. Let's watch the footwork again. 1, 2. He's not trying to square up to throw it anymore. I was really proud of that. And a quick drop is not always the longest thing. Sometimes it's so much of just actually getting it done. And, I really did like his improvement right there. Uh, the reason why, the first session I chose to break it down the proper way of throwing the football is so, we can get all of our stuff correctly in the drop backs. Like I said before, we got to be able to throw the ball if we want to make our drop backs useful, and which I believe we did in this session. And, progression summary, I'll just say that he was able to catch the ball. He got it. He brought it up to his ear. He had a nice release form, and he had his footwork down. I was really impressed, and you could see the difference between the first time and the second time. He actually looked calm. He looked relaxed, and he was just ready to throw the ball at any moment, which I was very proud of. And progression 4, in this session, we actually started to work on the medium pass game, which I felt he was ready for. He was able to get his footwork properly and get a nice release form on the short throw. Like I said, again, the biggest rate leader is his footwork, because in this one is different, and this one can be a little bit more harder because you have to take 3 steps on your drop back this time instead of just a quick open step. So I was really kind of nervous, but I did feel with the start of we had with the quick drop back that he would be okay and he would be able to catch on pretty quickly. Like I said, the progression for this is to make sure we catch the ball, open up our hips correctly, bring it to the ear, and then we know we just want to take our proper 3 steps. I mean, without the proper 3 steps, I mean, it's just a waste of a drop back. So, and the thing about it is that you want to also get some depth, but you don't want to take a lot of time on your 3 step because yes, you're getting more trying to read, but it's not a deep ball. So that's one thing I had to explain to him, and I think he picked on pretty well. And we also worked on a good releasing point again. Here's the video. As you can see, that was his first one. It was a little slow, which is okay, but he did open up right. I didn't like, I showed where he needs to bring the ball up just a little bit, but at the end of the day, he did have it mostly correct. So now that I was able to correct him a little bit, I mean that's pretty good. From what he's been at, he's getting the right drops back. He's taking 1, 2, 3 steps, rockets, and then throws it, which I was pretty proud of this progression. I mean, I was able to see a difference in him, and I feel he caught on pretty well. I chose to select this activity only because I felt he accomplished his first drop back pretty well. And the second one, I feel is the most common use in the game because I feel most of the time now in today's game, coaches like to give their quarterbacks a little bit of time to read and make some adjustments on their own. And so just kind of get comfortable back there in the pocket. So that's why I think this was also one of the most realistic game situations he would have with just the 3 step drop back. So that's why I kind of felt we needed to emphasize this one a little bit more. And like I said, from the progression and summary, we always had to bring the ball to the ear from the snap. We had to make sure our steps are correct, and he make sure he gets all 3 of them, and which I felt he really did. And I mean, he just did a great job with it once he got it down. And at first he was not relaxed throwing the football. Just reminding him just to relax a little bit throwing the ball. Yes, our 3 steps we want a little bit faster if we can, but when it comes to throwing it, I mean, we don't want to rush it, because you still want to have a good ball thrown, and that's also a main part that we want to work on. And these, and so we're gonna go to our final comparison. As you can see in this, I mean, let's just go back to the beginning. Is your quick drop. Oops, sorry. Here's your quick drops.